What up, Gringo Gang, man? We back with another reaction video. Hey, look, today we got an interview with our main man, LaRussell. For you guys who have not seen him or heard of him yet, he's an independent artist from California. I think a place called Valero, if I'm not mistaken. That's his city. And man, he's just completely independently has run himself up to 1 million followers on different platforms based off his music, off of just performing in his backyard at his family's house and throwing concerts in his backyard, putting up four, five, seven, eight, nine, 10 clips of him performing his music on social media every day, and just doing this amazing reality rap type of style that he has. He has just made a crazy run on the West Coast, and he's up and coming right now, and he's done it all independently, all with the money out of his own pocket, and no cosign, you know what I mean? He's built himself up to mainstream status without any label help, without having any deals, things like that. And he is what all of us indie artists dream to be, you know what I mean? He stuck to it. He got it out the mud 100%. And now he has the leverage to where if label heads aren't coming at him with the right figures and things like that, he doesn't need them at this point. He has eliminated the need for the industry to be a successful artist, and he's making history right now. So that's LaRussell, a California artist, like I said, and he is in the Bay Area, and he's doing an interview with this guy called Dregs1. That's this guy over here, and that's DERGS1, Dregs1. So I guess this is a local Bay Area podcast that he's doing right now. But I wanted to come and react to this video because for all of my artists and people in the industry, he is speaking. They are having a small little conversation about the gatekeepers in the industry and people's egos and why it's hard to get assistance and help when you're an up-and-coming artist and things like that. And I thought it was real interesting, so I wanted to just go over that with you guys. So let's see what they got to say, man, without further ado.
Or you can either conquer or you can embrace. And I think what you're saying and what you've done is an example of embracing other people and for lack of a better word, not being chimmy with shit, right? And I think a big part of what's wrong in the Bay, even infrastructure-wise, is the ego of what do I get out of this, as opposed to let me just offer some help just on the strength that this is dope and I'm in a position to.
Right, and he is pointing out something that we all face no matter what side of the country or what part of the world you're coming from. If you're in the music game, it's like any other industry. You would think it would be a little more liberal. People would be more open because we're in a creative field, and you think there's a little more freedom to move around in this field, but really it's not. A lot of times when you're trying to come up in the music game, you know what I mean, you need connections, you need a certain amount in your bank account, you need it goes beyond just the talent. That's why all the time you hear that succeeding in the game is 10% talent, 90% grind, 90% business, that type of thing. You hear that because it's not just your artwork that's getting you where you need to go. Even a person like Kanye West, we know how great he is, we know how monumental he is, but if Kanye doesn't get to meet Jay-Z, if he doesn't get that cosign, we would never know how great Kanye is, how the beautiful music that this man can make. We would never get exposed to it. He might still make it, but he might be limited to Chicago or the northern part of the United States. Like, people just wouldn't know his name in every household because he didn't have the proper connections to get that exposure. And that's a problem that I deal with, many of us deal with. You know, you have a lot of times in this game, it's about building relationships and you know, who you have to vouch for you can be the difference between you getting this opportunity or not getting that opportunity. And man, this is plagued the music industry for a long time, and corporate America, pretty much anything you do to make money, there's going to be somebody who has more know-how, more expertise than you. But before they give you that game, you either have to be someone they like, someone who is related or has connections to somebody else they like, or you have to be able to do something for them to give you that game. And that's just everybody, you know, trying to maintain their positions. Everybody trying to keep what they have. If I'm at the top, nigga, I don't want you to replace me. I don't want to give you my spot, so I'm gonna breadcrumb you. I'm gonna give you a little bit of game, but I'm not gonna tell you everything I know because you're gonna knock me out my position. That's just human nature, man. So we can't be mad at that, but it definitely needs to change. I in my opinion, I just believe that entertainment should be performance based because the original purpose is to entertain the customer. If your song is better than this other person's song and it entertains more people, you should have the higher position. You should be making more money. But your song can be worse than the other person, but because you know someone who has more power in the industry, then you get the upper hand, and it just shouldn't be that way. But we on Earth and we in America, so of course there's a lot of things that are how they shouldn't be. Let's keep going.
To be able to help. And I think even, you know,
niggas will start mentioning they bottom line.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, there's a price tag attached to it.
Niggas, bro.
Yeah.
That's facts. You know what I mean? A person can have all the ability to help you in the world in this game, but at the end of the day, man, they're gonna be like, hey, I can assist you and all that and put you on and all that, but I still gotta handle this over here, that over there. So the game's to be sold, not told. If you want this help, if you want this game, man, you have to do something for me. Cause I bust my ass to get to where I'm at. So I'm not just gonna give it to you off of the strength of love. Even though I got love for you, even though I notice your talent, I'm not gonna give it to you because of what I had to go through. That's usually why all of this stuff happens. It's usually because it was somebody when they first got started who was gatekeeping and wouldn't put them on game. So now they're like, hell, nobody gave it to me. Why should I give it to you? It'd be that type of chain reaction that happens. So let's keep going.
I think even when I talk about the angry rappers in my DMs, there's ego there too. Anytime someone makes a list, these are the best rappers in the Bay Area right now. How come I ain't on there? How come so-and-so ain't on there?
And it's ego on all ends. Like, I'm the same. I'm guilty of being egoic in situations where it just couldn't make sense in a line for me. Like, it's on all ends. That's why it's like, it's a everybody thing. Like, that infrastructure that we lack is just, man, I'm building it. You know, I'm doing my best to build it because we just don't. We have all the ability. We just don't know how to. Man, it's so much. It's so much you got to do, and there needs to be a.
And you know, I felt him when he said this. This is the main reason why I wanted to cover this, because our egos definitely get in the way of how much progress and how far we can make it in the game, because everyone wants to be on top. It's too many chiefs, not enough Indians, not enough people want to follow, not enough people want to play their position in the background until their time comes. Everyone wants their time to be right now, and we suffer because of that. And he's 100% right. It's like we have the power. We all come together. This is not just music. This goes into why black people aren't treated a certain way in society and all that stuff, is because we in no aspect of life do we know how to put our selfishness to the side and come together for the greater good of our people. We have not learned how to do that. And how can you expect us to know how to do that when we were all oppressed, and then the oppressors pick certain people that they like to elevate above the rest of us if those people do what they tell them to do? That's been the history of our entire existence, our entire experience. It's like, well, it started with this guy being the house Negro and you being the field Negro, and the two different black people have animosity towards each other, and now it leads up to you the hood black guy and I'm the corporate black guy, and we got animosity towards each other because somebody else outside of us told one of us that we better than the other, and we still dealing with the consequences of that. So the people who are higher up in the industry have been told that they're better than you, so they're going to use that power to oppress you, to make you less than, to make you subservient to them, because it's just the pattern of where a lot of us came from. And man, when it's not like we did that to ourselves, it's not like we were just left alone and then we as a people said he's better than you, that family's better than this family, and it stemmed from that. This came from our struggle and having these principles forced upon us, ingrained in us by force, and to try to reverse that over several centuries, that damage that occurred over several centuries. Of course, it's going to bleed into the entertainment industry. Of course, it's going to bleed into our family dynamics, our relationships, our business deals and things. It's going to bleed into all of that because it's the core of where we come from. You know what I'm saying? So I feel Russell on this. I'm the same type of person. I would love to see all of our people come together and make something great happen. And I, just like Russell, I look out and I see that we had the resources and the intelligence to do so. But I would be a fool to look at our history and think that that's going to be easy to overcome. It's going to be easy for people to forget that programming that has been in them from their parents, their grandparents, their ancestors, their oppressors. All this programming, it's not going to be that easy to reverse. So when we see black artists, black people, black businessmen not be able to work together successfully like other races, don't discount them. Don't discount your people, ourselves, as if we, you know what I'm saying, are less than because we're having a hard time doing it. We literally have been broken to the point where it's beyond physical. We've been broken mentally to where we have to we're still trying to figure out who we are as individuals, let alone how we can work well together. While everyone else is working well together and excelling, we're still where they were 300-400 years ago, trying to figure out what makes us powerful, what makes us special. We're still in that part of the chapter because of what's happened to us. So not to play victim or anything, but this shit is facts. Like, you can't be taught that your people were slaves and your people were subservient for 12 years in school while your classmate, your people were the owners, your people were the masters, your people were killing these people who are sitting next to you, and then both of you guys graduate and feel like you're on the same level. Like, that's not how it works. Like, we can't keep acting like our oppression is not a good cause of where we are. It is 100% the cause of where we are today.
Place that you can go and get that embrace organically and naturally and in a real way. And that's why I love that there is a Thizzler in the Empire in a good company, because they're all for different types of forms of art. Because I believe,
and you got to think about it too, not to interrupt, but when people in the brown community, our community, when people actually come up and make it out of these dire circumstances that we've been in for centuries, when people make it out, they want to hold on to the little things that they've earned, the little things that they have. Like, we've been without things for so long. Once a person finally gets it, they're willing to go to all types of lengths to hold on to that. If the people of quote unquote fair skin are willing to do all types of demonic and crazy things to keep their families in power, what you think an oppressed family is going to do when they finally get some power? Like, just think about that. When a person who's had nothing finally gets something, he's going to be holding on to that even tighter than the freaking Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all that stuff. And they hold on to their stuff with an iron fist. So imagine what his fist going to be, iron and gold. It's going to be harder than theirs. Just think about that. You know what I'm saying? Before you go casting stones and, you know, trying to put the responsibility of rescuing everybody on one successful group of black people or one successful black person. You can't put all that on them. We all trying to keep the little stuff that we got, because we ain't never had nothing. It shouldn't even be this complicated to understand. That's why gatekeepers and people have these type of egos, because, man, it was too damn hard to get what they got.
no matter what form of art you're making, there should be a place for you to cultivate that. But currently, there's not. If you a certain kind of artist, there's not a place for you to get cultivated and get the same resource that you may get if you talking about killing your niggas and killing people. You know, it's like it's a different access.
And that's facts. That's facts. You gotta think about it, man. Like, why you think the conscious rappers aren't number one on the Billboard, or all the drill rappers and everybody talking about killing and stealing and scamming, why they run everything, and the people who really have a positive message are not at the top? I mean, whether you're spiritual or not, you know that this world is ruled on devious activity. For the United States to be a powerhouse, we had to go over and bomb other countries. We had to go over and kill people to steal their resources. Way before the United States was even a thing, every country was going to war every other day, killing and pillaging and raping and doing whatever they had to do to take over the other society. All the Mayans and stuff, they don't exist anymore because somebody came in and burnt them down and deleted their history. Like, that's what Earth is. Earth is ruled on sin. It's not, you don't come into power on Earth being a positive, loving person, because that's not how you are able to dominate in this realm that we're living in. It's just facts. Everybody knows that this is what it is. It's corrupt. So that's why it's going to be hard to be cultivated if you're an eccentric or spiritual or conscious type of artist versus a popular culture artist. Talk about whatever sounds cool to people. If you're that artist, everybody's going to be trying to take you under their wing. Everybody wants to give you tips because they know that's what works in this society that we live in. And that's just as simple as it gets.
Niggas grant you, which is crazy, because it's like, I always look at it like, if you got $1 million to spend on anything and you have two things that will work with this $1 million spin, I gotta look at you based on what you chose to put that into.
And that's facts. Like, you know, you get opportunities and you can use them for good or for evil. You can have $1 million, you can use it for good or for evil. And based on what you use that for, people have the right to judge you based on it. Like, you an evil motherfucker, or you're a pretty solid, you know, good-hearted individual. But at the end of the day, can you blame the person who invests their $1 million in the evil when it's a safe bet, when they know it's gonna work? Some people might suffer, but at the end of the day, it's self-preservation first. Most people are like, okay, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I gotta do what I gotta do to make sure I stay alive and make sure my people stay alive. And that's just human nature, man. That's just how it works. So, you know, it gets tough for us artists who are really God-bodied, really positive, really want to make a change. Look at everybody who has ever been in history who was a freedom fighter or, you know, peacemaker who tried to make change. What happened to them? That just comes with it. It just comes with it, man. Like, this is an evil dominated planet that we live on, and if you want to have more material than other people, man, you got to be down to do some gritty things. You got to be down to do some evil things. If you're not down to do those things, you have to be content with just the necessities. You have to be content with just living a basic I have what I need, I got what I need to survive type of life. Like, you're not gonna have a luxury, exuberant experience if you're not willing to engage in evil activity on this planet. It's just what it is. That's just what it is. You know, if you don't want to accept that truth, you in the wrong place. You might as well go and check out, because it's not gonna change.
It just, yeah. It don't be making sense, and it really takes a group effort, bro. Everybody our OGs gotta really embrace niggas. Like, we have to, bro. We really gotta stop going in with like, I gotta get something out of this shit to help somebody. Like, bro, I had Spice One in the backyard. I paid Spice One to come to the thing and rap. Like, I hit him and like come rap, and it's like,
and that's the thing. Everything he's saying is facts, and I have those same principles, those same dreams, those same goals as he is expressing right now. But it's a uphill battle that, man, like, to get all of the people who are brainwashed and all of the people who have just been broken down and tore down by this society and by this world, to get all of them to get on the accord to where they think unselfishly, to where they're willing to extend a helping hand without needing anything back. Do you know how damn near impossible like that would be? Literally, Jesus has to come back, split the sky open, point to you, and tell you, you got to do it, or I'm about to get rid of your existence for people to do it. Like, it has to be an event that catastrophic, that powerful, to reverse these curses that we under right now. Like, it's just not gonna happen. There's no amount of standing in the pulpit and standing on the soapbox that we can do that's gonna reverse what it takes, what people think it takes to survive in this world, especially our darker people. It's going, man, trying to reverse that is really really a futile cause at this point. Like, it's just not going anywhere. Your best bet, that's why all of the people who have the wisdom and who have been through the life experience and who are up in age, that's why they always tell you, man, just focus on you, make sure your people straight. That's all you can control. There's no way we gotta stop trying to play this and I feel everything Russell's saying. I'm the same way. I want that just as bad as him. But at a certain point, you realize that people are just not gonna get right. Yeah, people believe in what they believe in. People have been through what they've been through. You're not gonna be able to convince everybody to think like you. It's just not gonna happen. And we not even gonna be able to convince the majority of people to think like us, because the majority of people who look like us are still without. It's not like the majority of us have the resources to pass to those of us who don't have it. Most of us are still without. So most of us are still thinking me first before I help anybody. So you living in a dream world, or you live in a pipe dream trying to think that you can do something to make that change. And honestly, none of us probably will ever even be alive to see it, even if we all went all in into making that happen. Like, it's so much corruption and manipulation that happens on a daily basis. We're either going to get derailed from our original goal as the generations go by, and people are going to start lying about what our original intentions were, and it's going to ruin the cause. Or it's just going to be people who have what they have finally came up in the world, and they're just not going to see all of the people that look like them as their people. You might look like me, but I don't really mess with you like that, so you're not going to get none of my resources. It's going to be one of those two situations that'll happen. And with all the damage that we have to repair in our community, man, that's going to be fighting a giant with a blindfold on and your hands behind your back and your legs caught in a trap. It's just not going to work. It's just, you can do all the biting in the world. It's just not going to work, bro. Like, at this point, I hate to be the bearer of bad news or to sound pessimistic, but I just speak the real, dog. You have to help yourself, help who you can help, and just be at peace with that, because it's just too much damage already done. And based on human nature, we're creatures of habits. So if your habit is the habits of our families and of all our people for all these years has been just to feel victimized, downtrodden, to feel like everything's going against you, you ain't gonna be able to break that habit on a large scale, on a majority scale anytime soon. Like, just focus on your movement, make your movement work, help who you can help, give the game, but you gonna break your own heart thinking that you can really change all of that like you want to. But yeah, let's keep it going.
Fuck with your feet. I just want you to come right. It's gonna end up in your benefit. I just want to see you get this clip and do your thing. Like, it's gonna already know what it's gonna lead to. Right? Already know that. Yeah. I spent my money on the ads and the seat, and it's like, cause I already know. Ain't nothing gonna stop me from doing that. It's like, even if you don't see the vision.
Another artist could have been like, oh.
And that's facts. Like, I salute Russell for being a stand-up guy, a real nigga like that, wanting to see everybody win, and just giving people opportunities based on what he's built off the love. He's just giving people the opportunities to spread the love. But you gotta understand, man, everybody ain't like that in this game. Most people not like that. Most people gonna charge you a fee, you know what I'm saying, to climb that tree. You dig what I'm saying?
You gonna charge me for this? Well, fuck it then. We ain't doing it. I don't give a fuck.
I could have easily been like, what you mean? But I never had that approach. Mm-hmm. I never had that approach. I've been there. It's like, I'm not going to even do a nigga how they did me, because I'm not going to do me like that.
And he's talking about when he wants to collaborate or bring other known artists from the past and things like that to his shows, and to make appearances and things like that, he has to pay him a little small fee or whatever. And most people be like, well, I'm the hot new thing, I'm shining light on you to, you know, revive your career or whatever. You shouldn't be charging me nothing, but Russell will go ahead and pay him just out of the love. But in this dog eat dog type of world we live in, you got to understand that that's just your personal choice. Most people not gonna be like that. You gotta just do that and definitely not expect nothing in return, because most of the times you're not gonna get nothing in return. Most people just don't operate like that because most people too selfish. So, man, I just thought it was interesting to speak on this topic because a lot of us, we do wish that it was easier to break into the industry and the game, and that people would show more love, but that's just not how this world works. So if you still live in that fairy tale, if you still think that you're gonna run into a situation like that, don't play yourself. Don't fool yourself. Understand that most people out for themselves, man, and you gotta have something that you're ready to bring to the table that shows your value, or most of the time you just better off doing things by yourself. You're not really gonna be able to get the type of assistance you're looking for if you don't offer an equal type of value. So that's it for this video, y'all, man. It's your boy Emerald Amigo, Gringo Gang. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on the video, share that shit, all that bullshit, man. And I'm out this bitch. Yes, sir. Ski.